Like many shows on Adult Swim, Smiling Friends is packed with some of the most outrageous, twisted, dark, disturbing, and really freaky moments. So freaky, in fact, that they've probably made some of you piddle and shiddle your pants at one point or another. Since you guys really seem to enjoy my Smiling Friends and also disturbing moments in animation videos, I figured that today, while you're not busy, we'd spend some time together, reminiscing about some of the most disturbing, creepy, or weird moments in Smiling Friends. If you guys go on to enjoy this video, drop a fat, wet like, and with that said, let's get wild. Depressed Pim. Depressed Pim refers to the very detailed render of Pim towards the end of the pilot episode, Desmond's Big Day Out. Pim, usually an optimistic and positive character, is left in a very dark and defeated state after struggling to help Desmond, who was dealing with difficult personal issues, smile. Despite Pim and Charlie's best efforts throughout the episode, Desmond remained stuck in a negative mindset, which led to Pim becoming increasingly upset. By the end of the episode, Pim appears almost half dead in the Smiling Friends break room, which is, pretty sad if you ask me. But hey, at least Desmond eventually found solace and a new meaning to life after murdering a Blibbly and creating an extermination business. But you know, I find this moment quite unsettling for two different reasons. First, Pim looks so vile and grotesque in this scene, which is a stark contrast to his usual colorful and joyful appearance. They say that you can't smell images, but trust me, I can smell this one, and it's disgusting. Second, this moment reveals a side of Pim that we rarely see, a complete breakdown of his usually optimistic attitude. While Pim has had moments of sadness throughout the series, I don't think we have seen him this defeated since the pilot premiere. And as a bonus reason, the full render of depressed Pim is so outrageous that it adds another layer of discomfort to this entire thing. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but if you know, you know. And I already know most of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tara the Android jump scare. Tara the Android is a real-life robot created by a man named John Bergeron. You've probably seen videos of Tara singing in some top 10 or 15 creepy YouTube video compilations. Well, Tara makes a brief appearance in the episode The Boss Finds Love. The android can be seen standing in one of the corners of Charlie's apartment while he, Alan, and Pim search for a way to free Mr. Boss from his horrible marriage with Brittany, the devil's daughter. Once the trio figure out a plan to stop Brittany, the android suddenly jumps out and screams, which freaks out Alan, Pim, and probably some of you watching the episode for the first time. Meanwhile, Charlie remains completely unfazed. Now, there are roughly 2 more jump scares in this entire episode, but I think this one stands out the most just because of how iconic Tara is outside of the series. I mean, besides the unsettling nature of Tara's viral video, there are loads of rumors and stories about this android. Although, at the end of the day, Tara is just a really cool creation and isn't this product of a madman or anything crazy like that. Spamtopia. There are no words to describe the hellish nightmare that is Spamtopia. I'd argue that it's akin to the existence of something like the DMV. You know, it's just a pain in the ass, it's way too bright in there. I feel like I'm trapped inside of it forever once I open the door and enter and get my ticket and sit down. And mainly because it takes like 5 hours before they get to my number. And I genuinely feel like everyone inside is trying to kill me or something. I just don't like the DMV. Anyways, in the episode The Magical Red Jewel, Mr. Boss and Pim travel to Spamtopia to buy a, you guessed it, magical red jewel that apparently brings the dead back to life. So they seek out Oscar, who is both the king of Spamtopia and Pim's pen pal, but they don't learn about that right until the very end of the episode when they're about to be torn apart. The citizens of Spamtopia come in all sorts of colorful shapes, sizes, and flavors. They also speak a language called Spamish, which is essentially just a bunch of nonsensical sounds, and they really don't like being looked at in their eyes or eye. So much so that it's literally a law that if a person looks into the eyeballs of someone Spamish, they will die a horrific death, which is how these two ended up on death row. This law, in fact, the entire law book of Spamtopia was later abolished after Pim and Oscar rekindled their friendship, leading to absolute chaos. Jesus Christ. Spamtopia was already pretty unnerving when it was first introduced towards the beginning of the episode, but it really showed its true colors once Pim and Mr. Boss escaped. I mean, have you seen that waitress? She looks like a demon or something. Anyways, Spamtopia. Not just one character or anything, like the entire idea of Spamtopia freaks me out a bit. Charlie's death.
Is this putting one in a bad mood?
In the episode, Charlie dies and doesn't come back. There's a pretty straightforward yet striking moment when Charlie gets crushed by a tree. Throughout the episode, Charlie is depicted as pretty bitter and negative despite it being the holidays, mainly because he isn't interested in going out on Christmas Eve to get a tree for the office. His attitude brings down him and I guess to some extent everyone else, even though they don't really seem to genuinely care or want to get involved. Eventually, Charlie loses his temper, reveals his true colors, and, well, splat! Looks like a blended up Happy Meal. It looks like if you took Hand Banana from Aqua Teen and just dropped a rock on him. I honestly think I'm gonna have to blur Charlie's mustard and ketchup smoothie looking corpse because, well, YouTube, but yuck. You know, it's pretty unsettling to think that anyone or anything could just suddenly stop existing in a matter of seconds, even if it's due to something so seemingly minor. God, that was deep. In this case, the tree, though only slightly larger than Charlie, slams him to the ground with a force that rivals Rhea Ripley when she slammed Luke Gallows. Look, they're like twins. Also, let's just pretend I know anything about wrestling because I don't. I just really needed a quick comparison. Bill's death.
Oh my god!
Bill, introduced in the episode Charlie, Pym, and Bill versus the Alien, was a wonderful soul. He enjoyed relaxing, UFO hunting, and made such a massive impact on everyone's lives, I think. I don't know, probably. The episode, however, takes a very dark turn when a UFO abducts Charlie, Pym, and Bill. Soon after, Charlie and Pym wake up on an operating table in what looks like a room where aliens dissect life forms and harvest their organs. At least, that's the horrifying assumption given the sharp tools on the wall and the fact that Charlie and Pym are half naked. And then, oh god, no! Bill! Yeah, the next creepy moment we're talking about is the death of Bill and his lifeless body on the operating table. God, what a sad way to go out. Seriously, Bill was just out there having the time of his life, searching for UFOs, and now he's gone. Dead. Unalive. Please leave some thoughtful words in the comments regarding Bill. There will be no Bill slander in the comments, I swear to God. Jason's Rampage. Jason, the 18-year-old son of Mr. Boss, is quite an interesting character to say the least. In the episode The Magical Red Jewel, while Pym and Mr. Boss go to hell, Spamtopia, Charlie, Alan, and Glep are tasked with watching over Jason. While under the care of the trio, Jason suddenly dies. He just ceases to exist. It's crazy. When Mr. Boss is informed of his son's sudden demise, he breaks down into tears. However, he soon remembers the magical red jewel from Spamtopia, which, again, apparently has the power to bring living organisms back to life. Jason is then reborn, but not as his usual self. Instead, he transforms into, a butterfly? A Pokemon? I have no idea. Jason begins flying around the break room, filling the air with purple dust that makes everyone's eyes sore, their lungs burn, and their oxygen levels plummet. The episode ends with Jason leaping towards all of us. God, that is terrifying. My anxiety was already through the roof from all of the drama happening on screen, but Jason flying towards my screen and displaying his razor-sharp teeth is just nuts to butts. It's terrifying stuff, people. Mr. Boss's breakdown. Wrapping up today's video is Mr. Boss's Green Goblin moment in the episode Frowning Friends. Mr. Boss is usually happy, positive, and just a little bit insane. A lot of bit insane. A lot. He's insane. But in this episode, we see a completely different side of him. When a new business called Frowning Friends opens across the street, he starts losing money, and soon, his sanity. Before we know it, he's pulling a Norman Osborn from Spider-Man, talking to his reflection in the mirror, located in his secret room inside the Smiling Friends HQ, and ultimately convincing himself that the only way to stop the madness is to murder the Frowning Friends employees, Gnarly and Grim. What makes this situation so terrifying is like the slow buildup of rage and frustration that Mr. Boss experiences before he finally snaps and goes berserk. Plus, that scene where he talks to himself in the mirror is pretty wild. I mean, look at that head spin, baby. It's like a fucking Beyblade. Thankfully, everything works out in the end, and Mr. Boss doesn't actually go through with killing any— yep, I forgot about the Renaissance Man. Okay. Well, there you have it. 7, I think. Creepy, disturbing, dark, weird, wild. Any other word I could pull from an online thesaurus. Moments from Smiling Friends that might make you, puddle and shat your trousers or whatever. If you guys want a part 2, be sure to drop a like on the video and leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Click the bell icon to be notified on whenever I upload a brand new video. Follow me on all of my social links and join my Discord server. The links are in the bio below. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and remember to drink gamer subs.